Hey there, Big Cash crew. Eddie P here, back with you once again. But today is a very special day because it's the the first ever episode of Eddie P's Forex review. That's right. So today's episode will just be covering Forex, but we will be able to go a bit more in depth into different patterns and different signals and different tools we use, and just sort of the basics of your management zones, resistance, and support, and all that good stuff. And the other thing is that with Forex, because it works slower than the world of crypto, it's just an easy place to learn and easier place to trade. So let's get stuck into the show. Very cool. So one thing I didn't mention at the top, which is also absolutely fantastic, and I have discussed it on previous episodes, is with the world of Forex, we have oodles of historical data. So, some currencies we go back, 20 plus years, which is just absolutely fantastic because we can really map our patterns on our charts, and it gives us a competitive edge in predicting the future in the way that a lot of the cryptos, especially some of these altcoins, are 30 days old, so there's not a lot of history to go on. That being said, let's get started with the show. The first pair we're going to look at is the NZDUSD. Great, so with this pair, guys, I am on the 4-hour chart. Now you'll notice here that just above above these candles, I have these two bars here. So this is a management zone. Quite specifically, it is has been historically a bearish management zone, which means that typically when this pair encounters this zone, we have a bit of a retracement. Now you can see here that in recent weeks we've had a bit of a push to the upside through this management zone, which typically, if you go back through history, has acted as a bullish management zone, which means that usually you have a bounce because it acts as a support line and then pushes us back up to the upside. So with this market, what we're looking for is a bit of, if we end up seeing some bearish evidence and a push to the downside here, we're expecting to look for some sort of retracement somewhere in and around this zone. So should we encounter the zone, we're going to be on the lookout for bullish evidence and a push back to the upside, hopefully encountering this zone up here, or potentially reaching a higher high at the top of the zone there. That being said, if let's say you come down to this bullish management zone down here, you still want to look for all your normal signals. You want to be looking for your dojis, your engulfing candles, all those sorts of things, and you also want to make sure you're going to be in a trend when you go to trade upward. Alternatively, you could see a push back up to the upside because we have seen a bit of an upswing here. Should we see a push up, we want to be on the lookout for some bearish evidence when we encounter this management zone, and look for a good opportunity to trade to the downside. Excellent. So we're going to switch over to the EURUSD. So we're on the EURUSD and we're on the 4-hour chart. So with this pair, as you can see here, that over the past week or so, we've had this pair testing this resistance line multiple times. We've had a bit of a push through. That's why we use this as a management zone. But every time the currency rebounded and it looks like it's going to try and make another push to the downside. Should we see the pair encounter the this resistance line again, obviously we're going to be looking for a similar move. I mean, that's just where you study your patterns, and we should be looking for some bearish evidence and a push further down. But if this guy does move down, because we're in a bit of a downward trend at the moment, should we break down past this lower low and head down south to this support line, we want to be on the lookout for some bullish evidence and see if we can't ride that bad boy back on up. We should be able to see a push all the way up here. That being said, keep an eye out for your signals. Make sure there is volume in the marketplace, but we should see a nice move out of this guy this week. Excellent. So let's press on to the AUDUSD. So with the AUDUSD, guys, you can see here that we've been in a bit of a bullish run for some time now, because we're actually on the daily chart. So this has been going on for a while. We've had a nice bounce off this long-term trend line. We've passed through two bullish management zones, and we're headed on up to this management zone up top. But you can see here just from recent history that when the currency encountered it last time, it tested it a couple of times, but it went on a straight shot to the downside. We want to be on the lookout this week should we see a push back up. Ooh, need to get those arrows going. So should we see a push upward and should we encounter this zone, we want to be on the lookout for some bearish evidence and look for the next move to potentially this management zone here, or should it break through there, we could go quite a bit further. We could go all the way down to this mark down here, which is around the 76641 mark. That would be quite a shift, and that would probably take, it could take more than a week for that to come down, but we want to be on the lookout for that kind of evidence. So let's see if we encounter that zone. So should we find some bearish evidence when the markets open on Monday morning, then we want to be looking for an earlier shift downward. Should that happen, as soon as we encounter this management zone down here, we want to be looking for some bullish evidence and a potential push back up to this previous management zone. So that's the AUDUSD. Let's keep our eyes peeled, especially with that shooting star. But obviously don't enter any trades just yet, because you could have a gap in the market over the weekend. We sort of just want to hang back until everything opens on Monday. We will press on to USDCHF. So yeah, guys, we're on the USDCHF and we are on the daily chart. And just keep in mind, guys, I know we talked about this with crypto. It's absolutely no different with Forex. No matter what time frame you want to trade, you want to be at least looking first at the daily chart just to see what direction the trend's going in. Then you want to look at the 4-hourly for a bit of confirmation. And then if you want to trade a lower time frame, I mean, I've traded as low as 15 minutes, and it's exciting, it's difficult because you're sort of in and out real quick, but it's very doable. But you want to make sure you're trading with the trend. But the daily chart is sort of the best place to go for that. Anyway, we can see here that we're actually already on a bit of a downward trend. At the moment, we can see that we've had quite a bit of volume in the market, and we're slowing down a little bit down here. We've had a bit of a bounce with that long wick. What we're looking for now is just some strong evidence for a push back to the upside. But should we move in a bullish direction and we encounter this management zone again, don't be surprised if we have another push back to the downside. So that's what these two lines represent. At the moment, we still have a bullish candle, so we're still looking for sort of confirmation before we would enter a trend, but this is a highly likely scenario. That being said, you know, the reciprocal could happen should this this little bearish run continue, and tomorrow we have a further continuation of the entire run and we push down here. We want to be on the lookout for some bullish evidence because this is a great turnaround point for this currency historically to move back to the upside. So let's just wait to see what plays out on Monday and see where our trigger is for this pair. Next up is EURGBP. So we're on the EURGBP, guys, and once again we're on the daily chart, which is good. So this one does look like it's a bit all over the place. A lot of weird candle patterns. Dojis for days, man. Then we've got a reverse hammer and a shooting star, and it's just sort of all happening here. That being said, these two management zones are pretty reliable for bullish and bear moves. So at the moment, we're in a tiny bit of a downward trend. We want to be looking for some bearish evidence for this guy to come back down here to this zone. And if we do test this area, we're going to be looking for a way to sort of make our way back up north to the upside. You can see here it's kind of been in a ranging market for a little while, and hopefully we'll have a breakout pattern because it's a bit easier to trade. But in the meantime, we'll probably still have another test of this zone here before we go shooting back up. That being said, we did finish last week on a bullish candle. Obviously, the long wick signifies that, you know, there's not a lot of strength in the actual the bull market. But if they do kick off on Monday, you never know. You could have a huge gap in the market and start here. And if that's the case and we have a push to the upside, then we're going to just look for good points of turnaround, a potential turnaround point up there, and then a push back further down to this management zone. Excellent. Now let's press on to AUDCAD. So we're on to AUDCAD now, and once again we are on the daily chart. So with this one, guys, it's quite exciting because we have these two zones here, and in recent history both of them have been pretty great for looking for a bounce for a potential bullish run, so that's always exciting. And you know what they say, everyone looks like a rock star or hero in a bull market, so become a rock star. Anyway, so with this pair, what we're looking for is one of two things. As there's still a bit of volume in the market, this may just continue on as it has, this trend. So on Monday, we want to be looking for some bullish evidence to ride to the upside. And there's this nice little suite. I've just put basically a resistance line in there because if you see here, and you go back to more longer ago to more history, this has been a pretty strong resistance point for this currency. So we want to be setting realistic expectations should we get into a really good bull run, and perhaps set a stop there, as in like where you want to pull out your trade. So let's look out for that guy. Now we did have this quite long wick at the end of this candle on Friday. If we do have a push to the downside here, I don't see it going much further than this at the moment because we are in an upward trend. We certainly have a higher high there. But if we do encounter this zone, we want to be on another look to the upside. So either way, we're sort of looking for a bullish move with this pair. We just have to look for the right evidence before we buy into that market and see how we go. Hey guys and gals, thanks so much for tuning into today's episode. It's great to be here with you every time I jump on these charts, and I'm really excited about not just growing the channel, but specifically talking to you all about Forex every week. Please go out there and get yourself a little demo account. There's a bunch of different platforms you can do this on. It doesn't cost you anything, and start trading. We'll come here every week. We'll talk about these things. Get in the charts, do your fundamental analysis, start learning all the terms and everything you have to do, and start trading, because that's how you're going to learn. Now, as we've discussed a couple of times, the educational side of what we're doing will be coming out in the next couple of months. You're probably going to be about mid-year, and then you'll have many more tools at your disposal to use in the charts daily. But in the meantime, just go out and get your feet wet. Another thing you're going to want to do is get yourself some charting software. In the description of the video, there will be an affiliate link where you can jump on and join with TradingView. They're great, and we love using them, so I would jump on there and get yourself an account. I will not be seeing you lovely folk until Tuesday. Richie will be doing tomorrow night's update. So until Tuesday, stay safe, stay well. Have a fantastic time this week on the charts, whether it be crypto, Forex, or whatever it is you're trading. And I will see you all very soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's episode. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button below and also the notifications button so you don't miss out when the next episode comes out. Also follow us on the Facebook, get amongst the discussion over there, and also follow us on the Twitter. That's where Richie posts all of his badass trades you don't want to miss out. See you soon.